What's up, guys? Josh Driver here, head coach of Carbon Culture. Just finished up with the NBC Memphis Championships this past weekend. It was a great show. Shout out to Ellen Sizemore and all those guys. Great turnout, especially for their first show. So wanted to talk to you guys real quick about setting up the perfect post-show rebound. A lot of people had questions on this, so I'm just gonna walk you through kind of the way I like to approach things. So first of all, it's the end of the night, show is over. Most important thing to me is getting the hydration back in play. So trying to hydrate as much as you can. As soon after that, as soon as you step off stage and into the night, getting at least a gallon and a half down, which I know is going to be tough considering it's already late, but it'll definitely go a long way. All right, guys, so now we're getting into Monday, which now it's really time to get back on the diet and where this rebound really starts. In my opinion, a good rebound is going to be about 8 weeks post-show. So kind of approaching this rebound, what you want to do is go back and look what your fasted weight was from about 2 weeks out per se. See what that is and compare it to where you're at on Monday. On Monday, there's a good chance that you're going to be up, let's say 5-10 pounds from where you were back then. This is why it's so important to get your water back in play and then also get that diet back in play. So the diet that I would recommend going with is usually going to be what you were on before you started doing any sort of depletion or any bit of loading. So usually, again, it's about that 2 week out mark before you made those big changes to start peaking. That's the diet you want to go with that Monday post show. Okay. Make sure you're taking pics and kind of watching and monitoring the pictures, because you're going, as we introduce food or put food back in, you are likely going to gain some weight, but you want to make sure that you're putting on some good weight. If you're looking at these pictures and lines are disappearing too fast, then you probably added too much food back in. Okay. If you can get that diet back in play Monday and follow it as strictly as you can until about that Saturday, I promise you guys, you'll be within range of 2-3 pounds of what that weight was when you were 2 weeks out from the show, which is great. Now you've really set yourself up. So going into that second week, that's where I would start to reintroduce some food back in. I typically would start with adding in carbs back in. Once you add those carbs back in, I would do that before I start adding in some fat. So add some carbs back in, see how your body is responding. You'll likely be able to get away with about 4 to 5 weeks of just adding those carbs back in and having a steady increase in gaining weight, of good clean weight. If you end up having some cheats here and there, like maybe you're having it on the weekend or whatever it may be, try and stick to cleaner refeed foods. So something like sushi or anything really clean, like I like the turkey sub sandwiches. If you guys have ever worked with me, you'll kind of know where I throw those in at you. Other things to consider is also going to be your training. So it's very important that post-show you're not pushing the weights too hard. I'd rather have you focus on more of that pump style training for that first 2-3 weeks. It's kind of going to just depend on how your body's responding though. You'll know that if you push a little bit hard, too much post-show, your body is going to be exhausted. You're going to be drained. That's a good biofeedback indicator that you're just not ready yet, and we need to kind of pump the brakes a little bit longer until things start to return back to homeostasis. So from there, now we're about 5 weeks into that rebound, and you hit your first plateau. That's where I maybe would start to add some fats back in, and then kind of finish up that rebound throughout the next 3-4 weeks. Until then you want to start, and then you'll go into your actual off season. So just to recap, post show, if you can maintain about that 8 week phase, or that 8 weeks of keeping the diet in check, keeping your water in, and controlling the training, you're going to have a hell of a rebound and a hell of an off season.